What's going on, guys? I've got my 2021 ZX10R out here today, and I'm going to talk to you about the top 5 things I do not like about this bike. With this being a new model, a new gen, yes, a bunch of the things are very similar, but there is a bunch that is very different. I'm going to talk about my first gripe, which is this exhaust. It's titanium from the headers up to the cap, which it's kind of hard to see, but it's right about in this area. And what that has done is that has pushed the catalytic converter longer and further forward. But what has happened is the previous generation slip-ons do not work for this bike. So anything from 2016 to 2020 will not work for this bike. The issue is, you can't get a slip-on right now. You can get one from Graves, but what happens is, I'm going to try to get up close without it zooming in too much, but this big old box right here, the slip-on is basically like a quarter, and then when you remove this, they call it a 3/4 exhaust. So that's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. You know, there's going to be works around it, and hopefully there will be systems coming out soon. They have upped the horsepower, but again, they've had to kind of sacrifice a little bit to make it a street legal motorcycle. That is okay, because I do believe systems like Aero, Spark, they're coming out with some exhaust. Graves, I'm sure, will be on the up and up. M4, all the big brands should be coming out with something here in this next year or so. This ECU, this is such a frustrating thing, because what that means is you're not able to go straight to a dyno tuner or a tuner, if you will, and get this bike flashed. So a lot of the restrictions are going to still be there. You can't unlock it. You can't get rid of some governors. Hello, governor. You can't get rid of an RPM band or get rid of certain emissions deletes. The check engine light will still be on. So that definitely makes it a frustrating point about this bike. Now, the 2020 Yamaha is like this. I'm sure the new Hondas are going to be like this to be Euro 5 compliant. It just puts an added thing to figure out about these motorcycles, which that's to be expected, I guess. You know, Kawasaki does sell a race ECU with a race harness, but it's not meant for the road. You lose your turn signals, you lose a lot of the street functions that you'd want out of your motorcycles. For me, it's really not that big of a deal, just because I'm not too concerned about it. You know, the ECU, from what I understand in the O2 sensors, if you do a slip-on, it can actually calibrate itself fairly well. These are in no particular order, but the third thing on my list is the electronics. Now, this is kind of a bittersweet love-hate relationship. The electronics on this thing is coming from a 5-axis IMU. So what that means is it doesn't actually measure the 6th axis. It calculates it. Traction in general, right, wheel speed, this thing actually compensates for that, calculates it. It's not a reactive system, it's a predictive system. So what that means is it's expecting the slip before it actually happens, and it measures this calculation every 5 milliseconds. That is lightning fast. The problem with this, though, is when you go into the customization menu to adjust your power modes and traction, that's all you get. You don't get a dedicated lift control sensitivity. You don't get a dedicated slide control sensitivity. You don't get a dedicated traction control sensitivity. When you set the KTRC, it's setting all of that for you. With this new model, though, there is 5 levels of adjustability. They have updated this. They've actually made it better, and it's also supposed to predict or understand when the bike's doing a power wheelie, right, and let it lift the front wheel up and keep it going, as opposed to just dumping it when it thinks it's going, you know, head over heels. This next one, it's not one that you would think would be a pretty big deal, but this is a big deal. The issue with removing this seat, it is such a pain. A guy has a video out on him removing it, and in the owner's manual, it obviously talks about it as well. But this is so frustrating. I'm so used to the ZX10R having a key, pops a little tab, and that thing comes right off. Man, that is just, that is so frustrating. I mean, it is what it is. You know, with the new updated riding position that it has, I understand they had to do what they had to do. And if you guys are buying this bike to make it a race bike, you know, that's not going to be an issue or a factor at all. But, you know, for, you know, your normal street rider that's going to do a little couple of modifications, you know, integrated taillight, fender eliminator, maybe a lightweight battery, going to get in here, change the air filter and stuff like that, that can become a huge headache. Last thing I just absolutely do not like about this new ZX10 is this KRT graphic. I love Kawi green. I love the red on the bottom. That is very World Superbike orientated, but man, this is just, I don't like it. And you guys know in my last videos, or last couple videos when I do the walkarounds and comparison, I talk about this design. It goes up this way. It should go up that way. It should be streamlined, aerodynamic with the bike. You know, the graphics are just backwards. So I'm not too sure what I want to do. I would have loved to have had the black. Again, this model is the non-ABS, and I'm more willing to work with a non-ABS model in this and customize it. And again, I love the green. With the black, I wanted to do a winter test style off of the old RR, which would have been really cool. But hey, nothing a couple vinyl wrap stickers can't fix. Some logos and everything like that to make it look awesome. But guys, let me know what you think about the KRT. Let me know what you think about the all black. I love that bike. It looks very similar to the H2. Let me know what you guys hate about the new 2021 ZX10R. That's a strong word. I mean, there's some things I wish, like, man, that sucks. But, you know, it is what it is. You got to get around it to make a street legal bike. And with the tight regulations that is going on with emissions and EPA and everything like that, Kawi has overcome all of these obstacles with a crazy year with COVID going on. And I must say, they still delivered an absolute awesome machine. There's so much more I love about this bike than I don't. And that is why I went with the ZX10 as opposed to a CBR 1000, a Yamaha R1. This bike has got more going for it than the competition. And again, that's why I made the decision I did. You know the drill. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this new bike. I can't wait to bring you more videos on this machine. Let me know what you want to see on this particular bike. I'll be doing, obviously, the big things, of course, like I mentioned, but let me know what you like and don't like. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It gave you an idea of what to expect with this new model and other new model leader bikes, super bikes as well, when you're in the market going to look at them. And those are just some things to think about, as well as on the other machines. As always, I hope you guys ride safe, have fun, and we will see you on the next one.